Y'all listen. We done did all this practicing. Months and months and months and months and months of practice. Sacrificing, y'all can't go nowhere, I can't go nowhere. None of us are going out of town. None of us are being with our family and friends because we're trying to get to this moment right here. It does not make sense to do that much hard work and then get here and then freeze up. Y'all set the tone for the next 10 years of G-Girls, whether I'm here or not. You're leaders of a new school. So you lead the new school, the new generation, the next generation of G-Girls. That's a big responsibility, so you can't be afraid of it. You have to like tackle it head on. But right now what I'm seeing is like nerves, and it's like making me nervous. You only have one time to get this thing right. They don't care that you're new, they don't care that you're young, they don't care that you've never done it before, they don't care about none of that. They're gonna compare you to previous teams. But the unfortunate thing about that is those teams have been G-Girls for 3 and 4 years. So they understand what it is already, y'all don't. And we're not like other dance teams. We're not like that majorette style dancing that they do up north or in the south or wherever. We don't do that. We're our own thing.
First of all, thank you for taking time out speaking with me, Traci. My name is Aries from Urban Bridges. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you? Thank you.
I am real good. Let's get into it. Tell us about the series. How did it actually come about that it's on TV now from your story?
So in 2018, I met a woman named Tristan Williams, and she's my EP, but at the time I didn't know her. I was coming into a football game with my girls doing the entrance, and she came up to me and she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna do a show on you one day." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." So then a year later, she came to me and it came to pass. She came down, she shot a sizzle, she recorded the girls, and then they shopped it, and then yeah, and here we are. But I think it's because I think the reason why we got a series is because my dancers and myself for years have gone viral, and they have all of these viral moments, but a lot of times people didn't know the behind the scenes of what it took to make those moments happen. And so it was very important to share the stories of the young ladies and myself, just so people can kind of get a holistic view of what it is that takes to make that happen. You know, it's not just about the costume or just about me yelling in the background like, "Okay, girls, let's go." You know, it's a lot more that makes that happen. So I think that, you know, she wanted to tell that story, and I agree with her.
Yeah, I'm happy you guys did. It's so different, and I love the series.
Yeah.
So. Tell everybody what a G-Girl is that doesn't know.
So a G-Girl is a dancer at Miami Northwestern High School, and the formal name is Golden Girls, but I came up with the name G-Girls about 15 years ago because I feel like for me, the girls are more than just golden. You know, I didn't want people to just look at them to be like a mascot for the school. For me, it's more than that, right? So to me, the G means gallant, and they have gargantuan personalities. They're gorgeous, they're graceful. So I wanted that G to stand for more than just gold, you know? And so although our school colors are gold and blue, so that's why it's the Golden Girls. And so the dance line who are associated with the marching band, those are the G-Girls, and that's what a G-Girl is.
Okay. You touched on it a little bit, but break down the series for anybody that hasn't seen it yet. What will they see?
So if a person haven't seen the series yet, they would see a whole bunch of authenticity. The show is very, very authentic. I think that of all the dance shows I've seen on television, there's nothing like this one. Obviously, it's doc style, so it's not a reality show. So it's very passionate, and it just tells stories. It's beautiful storytelling, and it's shot so beautiful, just to show the stories of the young ladies and myself and how we get to the great performances, right? So before those girls become these well-polished young ladies, you know, they're raw, it's the grit, they're not polished at all, you know what I mean? And it takes for me to like push them beyond their limits to get them to what people see week to week on a Friday night.
Yeah, and you're very direct, which I personally love. How did you actually design your way of teaching?
Well, I grew up, you know, I'm from Liberty City, and Liberty City is a very hardcore neighborhood in Miami. You know, a lot of times if you're not from Miami, people think that Miami is South Beach, and that's not our reality. And so Liberty City, there's a lot of, you know, crime and, you know, a lot of adversity here. So you have to have thick skin and you have to be tough. And then my dance teacher, I had a male dance teacher. He was crazy as hell. And so they say you teach how you were taught. And so I kind of came up under that era in the 90s where people believed in a village, where you can get yelled at, you can get even paddled in elementary school, and your parents said nothing about it. And so that's all I know. And I know we can't do that in 2024, but I still try to hold on to some of those lessons that I learned as a child, because I feel like it made me who I am today. And, you know, although I'm not perfect, I think that it's the reason why I'm so resilient and so strong. And I think that's what a lot of these kids lack. And so they need that tough love. And they need somebody to push them, beyond their comfort zone. That's so very important. So I think that's why I teach so hard.
Yeah, I love that. And the girls
Hmm.
are really talented. Who are some of the girls that you felt from jump would be a good addition?
In terms, you want the names?
Yeah, who was like one or two names that you just kind of felt like, even with things going on and it didn't seem some had asthma problems and things, but who did you kind of feel like they gonna make it?
Yeah, so okay, so the girls say I always have like this poker face, right? So in their minds, I'm never satisfied. But deep down inside, I'm like, ooh, she dancing her ass. Oh, sorry. Oh, she dancing her butt off. But so for me, it was always like Jada. She's an amazing dancer. She is absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't always tell her that, but she is so great. And another one who always stood out to me, was Destiny. Like Destiny's a very strong girl as well. So like the two of them together, they like bounce off of each other. So it's just great to see that energy and they just feed off of each other and it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, I love all that energy. Tell everybody why they need to tune in to Supa Girlz every Thursday on ALLBLK.
So every Thursday you got to tune in to Supa Girlz. I mean, people always say what time? At midnight. As soon as the clock strikes midnight, you can watch it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Every single Thursday. We're coming up on the third episode, so there's a total of 6 episodes. And if you haven't seen the first two, you got to download ALLBLK. It's not expensive. Go ahead and download ALLBLK and watch the show. I know people who have watched it already have given like great reviews about the show. So a lot of people are so in tune with it. They love it so far. I don't know what the numbers are doing, but I know that just from my platform, it has received only great responses. So I'm really proud of the show. It's one thing to be a part of something, it's another thing to be proud of it. And I'm very proud of the series so far, and I'm excited to see the rest of it, honestly, because I'm surprised too. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
really good. So congratulations. It's a great
Thank
series.
you. Thank
How did
you.
you originally get into dancing?
Well, I started dancing when I was 3 years old, so I've been dancing all my life. My mom put me in dance at the age of 3. I remember falling in love with dance at the age of 9. I was taking a dance class. I was like, I want to do this for the absolute rest of my life. I was 9 years old, and I was like, I don't care what it is, I'm going to dance forever. And so I did have a chance to dance professionally in my earlier years. I got cut from some things, but I did have a chance to, tour and dance professionally with some artists and with the Miami Heat. But after a while, I felt like my purpose was more than me just being on stage. So, right, I feel like God put me here to help the next generation or generations to fulfill their dreams as dancers and artists. So, yeah, so that's why, I teach. I still have a chance to dance sometimes, but now I feel like I'm too old. So I just pour into the children now and just do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. You kind of answered it just now, but what motivates you as a whole?
I think what motivates me is reciprocity. I just love being able to pour back into a community that poured into me. I would not be who I am. I would not be, even like the fabric of my being is centered around my upbringing in Liberty City. I think there are so many people who grew up in Miami who become successful and they leave and they never turn back and bring up the next generation. And I don't like that. So I was like, I have to make sure that, yeah, I've had an opportunity to do some great things, but let me share these experiences and opportunities so that somebody else can do the same thing. So I want to be to these young ladies and young men, because I teach young men as well, that sometimes it didn't happen for me. I didn't see I had great teachers, but I didn't see a lot of people be super successful and come back home. They usually move to Atlanta, LA, New York, and they never come back to Miami. So I felt like it was very important for me to be that person, be a face or be a representation of reciprocity. So that's what motivates me to continue and keep pushing into these children.
I love that. I love that stance. And then your family's also featured, so your husband is on the show. What's some of the best advice he's ever given?
Some of the best advice, he gives me so much. I think one of the things that stands out to me is like not to get so cool. I'm sorry?
I said, live, learn, grow. I got that from him.
Oh yeah, live, learn, grow. But he also he doesn't, okay, so he always tells me that, his main priority is my health, and I think that sometimes we get so wrapped up that we forget that we're human. And so, I push myself. He was like, Traci, but if you're not well, you can't help other people. So you have to take care of you first. That's so very important. And sometimes I forget to do that, like I'll go all day without eating sometimes because my brain is always turning. So I'm like, okay, I got to do more and more and more and more and more. That sometimes he has to say, okay, Traci, sit down, like take a break. Because if you're not well, and you can't do for them, and then if you ain't well, I'm not well, and then we're gonna have a whole big problem. So just to kind of look out for me and just make sure I learn how to breathe and just take a moment to step back, because I don't know how to step back sometimes.
Yeah, real good advice. What's next for you?
Well, what's next? I don't know exactly what's next, but what I want to happen is I would love to I've tapped into the fashion world a little bit, but I would love to, go into that a lot more. Because I love style and just being able to express yourself through garments and fashion. That's very important to me. I love that. But I would also like to get into like Broadway shows and, choreograph things like that. Allow my dancers to be seen in movies and musicals and things like that. Like, they're great right now, what they're doing in high school, but I would love for them to, I feel like although they're in high school, they're just as good as professional dancers to me, in my humble opinion. So I would love for them to be able to tap into things like that as well.
Nice. Well, I definitely see the fashion things. I love a lot of your things on the show, so do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we wrap, is there anything else you want to share with our viewers and your fans?
I want people to know that, when you see me and you see the young ladies working hard, it's more than meets the eye, right? So yes, I'm a tough teacher. Yeah, you see me yelling. You might even see me using profanity, but it comes from a very genuine and a great place of just love and passion for my dancers and wanting to see them win at the end of the day. That's really what it's about. And just to look at me as a person and not just as a woman, right? Because I talked about it in the show a little bit. If I was a male and I was coaching, one of those sports or whatever, it wouldn't be deemed as like disrespectful or too hard. But because I'm a woman, a lot of times people expect me to be super, super gentle or like, oh, well, she got to be more dainty. And I don't know how to be like that. I ain't even a part of my makeup. So, that's just not who I am. And just know that it's coming from a very, very sincere place. Yeah. That's it.
I love that. And it actually comes across that way. But like you said, people look at it, perceive how they want. So
absolutely.
But thank you again for taking time out speaking with me. It was a pleasure. I'm a fan of the show. I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
We're not like other dance teams. We're our own thing. There is nothing else like us. Do you understand?
The Miami Northwestern senior high school dance team are known for their Supa strut.
These hometown girls have become a worldwide sensation.
This team is the next generation of G-Girls.
Past teams, they've gone viral.
You gotta fight, girl!
How does this teacher has over 1 million people following? What is she doing?
Every single girl trying out for the team is brand new. I don't think they really realize how much hard work it takes to become a G-Girl. The workouts, oh my God, nothing but sweat, tears, pain. We got a lot of work to do. Can you move? This is what you've been preparing for. Liberty City is a very hardcore neighborhood. These girls are going through all these things. They can let all of that go and just come to life. It's absolutely beautiful to watch.